Welcome to the Strength for Life podcast, where smart strength training meets real life. We're Dr. Matt and Nicole Klingberg, founders of Village Fitness and Physical Therapy. Here, you'll learn what really works in the gym, at home, and for life. All right, everybody. Today we have two very special guests with us here on the Strength for Life podcast. We have Mr. Coe and Miss Julie Lamoureux. Thank you guys for being with us.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
So Coe and Julie are clients of ours in our small group training program. They've done nutrition coaching with us, and they're here today to share their story, the things that they've learned that have helped them to be successful, and also share some of the struggles and challenges that they had along the way. So I want to just jump right in with you guys, and I want to know what was life like for you from a health standpoint before starting Village?
Okay, well, I'll start because I started Village first.
Yes, you did. We were just trying to figure that out when that was.
It was back May of 2021.
Allegedly.
Yes, I believe that's close enough. And I was, I guess, overweight. I was 261 because from the chart that they started doing the measurements with, and I've been keeping that up with Chuck, who's great and keeps me accountable monthly. So, and I've had a myriad of issues, health issues, but always focused on trying to be healthy. I had brain surgery when I was very young, but that gave me vestibular syndrome that to this day I still have and will have balance issues. So I knew when I was more active, more fit, my balance and things were better. So I'm not sure exactly. It was after COVID. Julie had encouraged me to go hiking with her, and I think through a lot of her encouragement and motivation and other things, she was really great at trying to get me to try something. Village was new. I'm not sure how I found it. I think an ad or walked by. I had done gym memberships before, the traditional first of the year, try something. And like many, it never stuck. So I think, it was just the right timing. And of course, I think God just directed me right there. It was the right time. And, although I wish it was, 30 years earlier, it was a great fit for me.
And he did do pretty well hiking. He could do, 5 to 10 mile hikes, but his knees were killing him the whole time. So, so he knew he wanted to be able to hike without all of that pain. So for me, I was not overweight. I just was out of shape. I was an avid walker always, so I would walk the neighborhood regularly, daily. And I did mat Pilates at Citrus College for 4 or 5 years. We had an elliptical, we still do, and I would use that. But I wasn't strong. I didn't have any strength. And then when I was 50, I had my first DEXA scan, and I already had osteopenia at that point. I think a big part of my problem was I was a diet soda addict, and I didn't know. Nobody told you, not even any of my doctors after I was diagnosed, asked me any dietary questions whatsoever. Yeah. I didn't drink much coffee. I didn't drink alcohol. So the diet soda was detrimental to me. But so I started doing reformer Pilates about 5 years ago now. Every DEXA scan still would get worse. So then I started doing cardio Pilates, which they put the jump board on the end, so I had more impact. And I thought, well, this will do it. Nothing. So
really?
It still got worse every time. I tried something called biodensity training. There's a machine that they had it at the Claremont Club. So I paid for a year. And if it didn't improve your bone density, you got another 6 months free. Well, I got the 6 months free because it did not improve, and it didn't improve at the end after the 6 months either. So I just thought I need to do something else here. I knew I wanted to do strength training. Coe loved Village, but we live in Fontana, and that drive just, deterred me for several years.
Yeah.
Till finally a year ago, I started coming. My anniversary was in August. I did three or four private sessions of August of 2024 just to learn proper form and everything. And then I started in a group class in September. I loved it and was hooked and decided, yeah, the drive is definitely worth it. And then my DEXA scan is in December every year. And lo and behold, I was just hoping, oh, maybe it won't be worse this time. And it improved quite significantly. One of my hip measurements improved by 6.4%.
Nice.
And the tech who did the DEXA scan was so excited because he doesn't normally see things like that. And he, asked me, wow, what medication are you on? I said, I have always declined all the medications. I've never taken one because I know what the side effects of those are. And so my doctor said, well, keep on doing what you're doing because this is great. So.
What made you think, like, I need strength training? Was it just from Coe's experience? Did someone tell you that? Was it your own research?
I had done a lot of research for osteoporosis, and then I knew about sarcopenia, and I was getting older, and I just wanted to not be frail and not have a healthy golden years experience.
Yes.
I think one of the great things in what was really helpful for me is during the whole experience when I was going, and she wasn't, was all your philosophy and all the wonderful workshops were just like, honey, they're talking about all the stuff you're trying to get me to do, and so she had a lot of knowledge and was, right on the same path, so it made it, really easy. And then I think that you saw that, okay, they know what they're doing. And it made it
because nutritional
buy into.
things, and trying to find the root cause of problems. He would come home and say, they just said the same thing that you've been telling me, and so it was great. And
so then I could believe it.
Well, sometimes someone needs to tell you other than yourself.
Yeah.
and the challenges, as you guys have done, you have your different challenges, and I forget what the first one, but it was the best, and you did it a couple of times, and that's when I think I got my eating down, like under 100 carbs and the water and doing that. And then even the walking challenge, I'm averaging, 13,000 steps,
That's awesome.
so and pretty easily now, so.
Yeah, no, the challenges have been great. Like, I love the 12 days of fitness, and I cannot wait till the fun videos again this year. And, we've gone to a number of workshops, and then the Good Energy Challenge was really eye-opening.
Oh yeah, that was.
Because even though I said earlier I wasn't overweight, well, I hadn't been in those early years, but then in the last 4 years, I just would gain 2 or 3 pounds a year. And so I was up 13, 14 pounds over what I wanted to be, and I could not get it off. I would increase my walking, I'd go to Pilates more. I was eating really healthily, but I was eating a lot of carbs and not enough protein. So to be honest, the other things I changed besides adding strength training was I significantly increased my protein intake.
But just in September though, or August, right? Between August and December, you made all those changes?
I had started increasing my protein in the summer, but first I just tried to go to 100. And then I said, no, I think I need more. So then it was 120. And now I eat between 120 to 150 grams of protein most days.
That's great.
Yeah, not every single day, but most days.
And what does that look like for you? What do you typically have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Of chicken, even at breakfast.
Okay.
And increasing salmon, because I have some I have the ApoE4 gene 1 copy, so I have to be really careful with saturated fats, and I have seen my lipids going way up in the last few years. So I tried to greatly decrease my red meat intake, and for other reasons I sadly had to eliminate dairy recently. So now I need to be careful because I haven't really thought about what am I doing to get the calcium that I'm losing. But dairy I was getting a lot of protein from, and protein from seeds and nuts and Chicken is my big protein staple.
Yeah.
And I eat chicken and vegetables for breakfast, and I'm perfectly happy with
Eggs?
that.
Oh no, you can't do the eggs.
Yeah, well, I had
I
to
do
take out eggs for a little while also. So just to see if those things are causing any autoimmune issues. So
That's really cool because I think there's a lot of folks out there that have way less dietary restrictions than you do, and they use that as an excuse to not eat healthy or not eat protein. And so I think that there's always, if there's a will, there's a way, and you
Right.
clearly have the will to make it happen. You're like, I'm going to get 120 to 150 grams of protein. And obviously it's paid off. It's like you do the things, you do the work, the results will typically come.
yeah, and my fiber has increased a lot. And I finally did start losing weight really easily, feeling completely satisfied with what I'm eating, never hungry or anything, not any caloric
She eats
deficit.
a lot. Her meals are big.
Yeah,
I know.
just because I eat loads of vegetables and good healthy protein. And so during the Good Energy Challenge, I wasn't really anticipating losing weight, but I decreased my carbs a lot. I did discover wearing a CGM that I had to get rid of kombucha, which was heartbreaking.
Oh.
And I remember hearing you say that. And fruit, I eat a lot of berries still, but that's pretty much it. The rest of the fruit had to go. And sweet potatoes. Those were the 3 hardest things.
And so just for people that don't know what CGM, that's a continuous glucose monitor. You wear that. Has little needles that hook into your arm and tapes onto you, and it measures
Yeah,
your
here's
blood sugar.
one right here. That's on the last day, so it's a little worse for the wear.
So you said you had to stop eating sweet potatoes and some fruits and stop drinking kombucha. What was it that your CGM was telling you?
Oh, I would see just a massive spike, like not
Blood
any
sugar.
kind of gentle rise, just a pointy spike. And so now I've learned that, once I tried with a bottle of kombucha, I would drink 2 ounces after a meal. It just wasn't worth it. It would still make it rise. It wouldn't have that extreme spike.
Yeah.
But once we were driving to Arizona and I drank a bottle of kombucha, a whole bottle, when I had my first CGM on an empty stomach, and it went to 204.
Oh dang.
So then I thought, I'm gonna have to change this habit.
Yeah.
And then I tried it like after a meal, and it wasn't that bad, but it still was not good. So I just don't drink kombucha anymore.
That's fair. I had I was on an empty stomach and I was coaching baseball, which was very stressful for me. It's one of the greatest stressors in my life, apparently.
He's not lying. He's
Yeah,
not lying.
apparently I'm pretty relaxed and care way too much about Little League Baseball. And I had a piece of bubble gum. It's like regular bubble gum, and my blood sugar went from like under 100 to 180. So
Wow.
what I found was a combination of empty stomach, a little bit of sugar, and apparently stress will just drive up blood sugar.
Yeah.
Would you say like the awareness of the CGM was like one of the things that really like motivated you to be able to make dietary changes?
Oh, absolutely. And dietary changes, and I
Walking.
try not to miss walking after a meal because that controls it.
Yeah.
Especially if I ate berries at the end of that meal, or a little tiny bit of sweet potato, which I do once in a while. Because I noticed sweet potatoes are nutritious. It's just I had to figure out how I could still eat them and not to the degree that I was eating them before.
What CGM are you using?
Now I have a Stello.
Okay.
But I used the Dexcom G7 for like the initial 3 I did, and then
And
we
we're
got
connected to the
another
levels.
set. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
using levels
yeah.
still.
Okay, cool.
And
Well,
so
we can drop the link to Levels in the description. I think it's levels.com.
Yeah, and levels, that was really helpful from the Good Energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because then just writing down, and they always say that's the best thing. Make sure you journal your food, everything. But by doing that, it really was helpful for me to get the right combinations, the right percentages.
How much weight have you lost?
So my last weigh-in was like, I think 188. So it's like over 70
Wow.
pounds. Yeah. Now I should say, between that May 2021 and now, it wasn't all just down. There was,
Yeah.
before but I think the Good Energy Challenge really
What
got me on the,
on the down?
Yeah.
Nice. What was it about the Good Energy Challenge for you And for context, we
Yeah.
did the nutrition challenge was about 10 weeks long, where we had people encourage them to wear a CGM to track their food and to implement some really simple health habits, which, if I remember correctly, it was carbs under 100 grams per day, eating healthy fats, and
So it was
fermented
servings.
food?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
adding in a
Fermented,
couple servings of fermented foods. It was making sure that you got enough fiber in the day.
Mhm.
yeah, we
Um,
should remember this.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? And then it was at least 30 grams of protein with every single meal.
That's protein.
That was a really big one. And then it was like taking out all like alcohol, refined carbohydrates, so nothing processed. So I think that was like a big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then adding in some lifestyle habits as well at the end. But I think the staples of getting enough protein, getting fiber, getting enough vegetables in every day, and then taking out the processed carbs was huge for a lot of people. And then the people that were most successful, like you guys, wore the CGM. They got blood work at the beginning and the end so they could actually see the results and then get real feedback, because some people are fine with berries, like their blood sugar doesn't spike. And so it's really important to learn like how your body responds. And I
Right.
think that that's what the CGM does, is it shows you in real time how your body is going to respond to foods that you eat. And some people are, okay with sweet potatoes, or they find different things that work for them, or walking is a really good way to decrease blood sugar after a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And so just learning your body, like I think you're always going to be your biggest advocate. And so, if you leave it up to, somebody in the health field, it's like they might be able to give you some pointers, but they're not necessarily going to be able to give you specifics until you really take control of your health and get yourself in the driver's seat. And that's
Right.
really what the Good Energy Challenge was about, was equipping people to put themselves in a place where they can make decisions based off of data that they received from that challenge.
Yeah.
Right. And like I'm still wearing a CGM because I have some blood sugar control issues. He didn't, we discovered. He did really well. So he's still interested and will use one again at some point. But
Yeah.
some of my labs still need improvement.
Yeah.
But even after that. But now I know how to work with it and things that I can do to continue.
Isn't that incredible too, that it's like you can figure out, it's like, a lot of times you go and you get this blood work and it's just like, okay, we'll just go on this medication, or
Oh.
you're pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, that this is it. And it's like, but really there's a lot of levers you can pull. And so it sounds like you've pulled a lot of them and you're continuing to figure out like what works for you.
Right.
And making massive improvements in your health, which I think is really
Because
encouraging.
if a person ate a lot of processed food, well, then that's the obvious first place to start. But
Yeah.
we had stopped doing that years ago. I haven't been to a fast food place or hardly any restaurant. Only True
Yeah.
Food Kitchen is mainly where we'll go.
Yeah.
And we cook all our food at home. I would take food from home to rehearsals and performances. So it was just even within that, quote, healthy way of eating that I was able to learn some more specifics from that Good Energy Challenge and wearing the CGM to help hone it in even more.
I love it.
That's awesome. Coe, you were talking about what you
I
what some
totally
big
forgot
changes
what
for-
I was saying. No.
Sorry.
No.
You're good.
No, just with that challenge, monitoring my food, being able to see exactly. I was fortunate not to have any issues really with things, and I was amazed, and still am. You can have such great tasting, good food. Now, and I have no problem doing protein. I have to watch my protein because amongst my other ailments, I had my kidney out a couple of years ago, and so they really monitor how much protein, and I always bring it up to the nephrologist to ask, I'm eating a pretty high protein forward diet, because I'll do 150, 180 sometimes, because the stuff's so good. But anyway.
The other day he came home and said he hit 200, and that's not
I didn't mean to. But anyway, and they don't seem to care too much. I meet with another nutritionist at CA Hope next week. But so hopefully my protein levels and whatever they look at the blood will be okay. And then the walking, it's more developing, even though at this later age, real lifestyle changes that you keep, because now we're eating a lot, calories are high, we're losing weight. I'm still losing, like Julie's at weights she never thought she'd be back down to, and I'm at 188, hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be even down more. Even though I'm trying to get more muscle, right? You're trying to not be down that much weight. And I think just the walking after every meal, that now is just a habit. You know, it's just, you just do it.
I could not get him to
Oh,
walk
gosh,
after
yeah.
meals. Begrudgingly, he'd go once in a while.
Shopping,
And now
walking.
it's awesome. It's just so great. We can
It's really enhanced our relationship.
yeah, because he just always wants to walk now, or he'll text me and say, I want to walk. And
Or
we were driving home from my mom's in Arizona, and I ate right before we left, and I didn't get to walk, and it was recently, so I had the CGM on, and I said, do you think we could like stop and walk for 10 minutes at the next opportunity? We stopped and we walked for like 45 minutes in just this nothing shopping mall. There was nothing to see or anything, and it was hot.
Yeah.
It was just fun. And he goes, so how's your blood sugar doing now? And I check on my phone, and so
That's very countercultural. And I want to just touch on that really quick, because I think that the people that are really successful from a health standpoint, they do some things that are weird.
Yeah.
Culturally,
Really?
societally weird. So what are some other things?
Here,
you guys do
I've been waiting
health-wise
to
that are-
tell this. I tell
Yeah,
this to everyone because it's just a stress reliever. Parking, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll park as far as we can from where you've got plenty of parking spaces. No one's around. Instead of how we used to, like,
Try to get the
waiting.
first spot.
Yeah, you're trying to get. Why are you doing this? Don't you know you're missing steps? And just everyday life, like something needs to be done. Oh, I'll do it. I'll get the mail. I'll walk to the store.
Yeah, I'll go upstairs
Yeah.
and get that for you.
Yeah, and it really changes. Like when you be asked to do something, oh god,
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh yeah.
Or in the grocery store,
Is there
you
anything
discover
else?
you forgot something that's way in the back corner.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
good. We got
Or you can come up with fun games like we're in Walmart. Okay, we're just gonna go down each row, each corridor. Okay,
Well, and what were we doing when we were going down each row? We're rating
checking.
each row on if it has any decent food in it or not.
Any seed oils.
Rows would get
Yeah.
like an A,
Oh.
B, C, D, or F.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Billy.
And that was a
thank you.
cheap date.
And fun.
It was fun.
I want to know if you guys had to pick out what has been the biggest challenge for you since starting this renewed health journey. Just like since you started in 2021, you started in 2024. What's been the biggest hurdle you had to overcome? So I think that a lot of people don't have a hard time getting started. It's the keeping going because they encounter a barrier, whether that be, man, I got sick, or I got busy, or something started to hurt on my
Right.
body, or I hit a plateau in my weight loss and couldn't break through it. But what for you guys would you say has been the single biggest barrier that you encountered?
I have a few barriers that you just mentioned. So I got sick, and I'm still trying to figure out an autoimmune disease, which a component of it is joint and muscle pain.
Okay.
So I am experiencing that now. I can't say for sure if it's from the autoimmune issue or not, but I'm having recurring low back pain, like in my sacroiliac joint, and sometimes it'll spread across my whole low back and just be tight and spasming. So I've had to miss a lot of workouts, and that's very frustrating. But like I had to miss my second and third workout during benchmark week, and then there was a rest week, and then I was better and it came back, but then almost right away the problem started again. So I went on yesterday, Tuesday, and worked out, but then it's really bad today. So I'm just trying to figure this out, that I am not going to quit.
I was going to ask a question. What advice do you have for people that are dealing with things?
Well,
things
that's
do
hard. I'm still trying to figure out
You're
what
still in
advice to
it.
give
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
because
I think you just gave it.
yeah, I mean, I think, don't quit, but I think you do have to be smart.
Uh-huh.
And like, I know something that really aggravates it are things like the village curl, putting my low back in an extreme range of motion. And I was very flexible before. I could stand on 2 green plates or more even and still touch the ground. So I have to be careful with that now. So I think it's just learning how to read your body and doing what you can. I I backed off on weights a little bit yesterday because it was already bothering me when I got there. But I decreased my squat weight by 10 pounds, but I still did it. And so I'm figuring out what I need to do about it tomorrow now, But yeah, I'm not about to quit because I see the value of it, and I know it doesn't take very long. When you lay off for a short amount of time, you go downhill fast.
Yeah.
I think as you get older, some of these things. So mine would be the same ailments. I've got some bone-on-bone arthritis with the knee, arthritis in the hands, and it's just from not probably being more aware when I was younger, And some things are just consequences. But I can say, especially the knee, it is so much better, from going to Village. I'm going to say taking collagen, because when I started doing it under Julie's encouragement for several years, but it made a difference. I mean, where I can go up the stairs and I just say, man, I cannot believe it. And again, along with the training at Village, I would say for me, for keeping going, and we haven't even talked about the Village community or the Village family, which that's what kept me going and would get me excited and tell Julie, because it's not a gym, it's not going to a place. When you go to a gym, you're just so self-conscious, and you're not being able to do things right, and if you're doing anything, it's probably not right, and you're not getting the instruction and the type of instruction where right when I started, and I don't know if you remember, I think I did my first walkthrough with you. I can do a Village lunge without holding on, and now I've seen so much improvement, and I know my limitations, and so focusing on what I can do, not what I can't, and that's constantly changing, as far as how that goes. And the people there, everybody's at their own level. There's little old ladies that are, doing twice the weights that I can. In fact, I'm pretty much at the low end of everything. But anyway, it's, everybody's at their own level. Everyone's progressing at their own level. And everybody's encouraging. It's not fake. You really feel like you're totally fine where you're at, and everybody is happy seeing you go that next level up. And the coaches are awesome. It's not even community, it's like family, right? And how you guys conduct the whole thing, and the people you hire and the care you take, and even Jams behind the camera here has been awesome. It was always an encouragement to me whenever I came in. So that's got to be like at the top of what
because if I
different.
Was going someplace else or just a gym by myself with the things I'm struggling with now, I wouldn't be still going. But it's easy. At first I was like, I have to tell the coach I have to be careful but every one of them has been so, willing to help. And like yesterday, Taylor said, I think we should drop 10 pounds off your squat today. And, so I feel comfortable going in there and saying, I'm having problems right now, so I want to work out, but I have to be really careful.
Yeah, the research shows that for strength training to be effective for bone density and for muscle, it needs to be heavy and progressive, meaning it slowly increases. And so you take that on one hand. On the other hand, our clients are mostly your age, some older, some a little bit younger, and they have ailments. Almost all of them have something, whether it's an autoimmune condition or bone-on-bone arthritis in their knees, their hips, their back, their shoulders. They've all got something going on. And so I think the magic of a good strength training program or coach is somebody who can help them to work through it in a way that's safe and effective. And the magic in somebody who's going to be successful is that they stick with it. And they listen to their body, but also don't give up. And I think that far too often people think, this hurts, this must be bad for me. It's like, well, no, that's just your body telling you that you need to pay attention and maybe change things. Doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater, but you change the way that you're doing your strength training.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that also, just to add to that, avoiding unnecessary, or at least, just unnecessary surgeries. You know, like when I went to USC for my knee, and they said, "Oh, well, yeah, you're a client, you're eligible to get this knee, partial replacement and stuff, or you can just work on strengthening the quads and."
Well, they didn't
and-
tell you that, right?
Well,
Just-
he mentioned that, but that wasn't. It was kind of the secondary thing.
Yeah.
And when I went back, I had a second follow up with another doctor, the actual surgeon who does that. Because first doctor wanted me to talk to him, and from that time I had started the collagen. And my knee was so much better, and I tried to tell him that, and okay. Well, that's good. I mean, it's just funny how that is. And Julie is always telling me, of course, that the evils of the medical field or pharmacology. And we know there's good doctors and things like that, but it is amazing when you're out there.
Yeah, well, like I had bunion surgery years ago when our almost 40-year-old son was in kindergarten. And I regret that I did that because it still bothers me, honestly. And I started wearing zero shoes even before we came to Village.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we had when we were hiking, we were looking into different shoes, and so we had been wearing zero shoes for a couple of years from the time of the pandemic when we got our first ones. But because I have a bunion on my other foot too that I wasn't going to have surgery. I don't have pain in that bunion more than like a couple days a year since I started wearing the zero shoes and got used to them, So yeah, I would encourage anybody to make surgery your last resort, try everything. But I didn't know what else to try at that point in my life, in my 30s.
Yeah.
So
I just realized something else I regret. I regret that I said the doctor at USC. It was actually an excellent doctor, and no doubt will be watching and listening to these.
All of the USC
Village
doctors
podcasts.
actually listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
No, actually, I really liked him a lot, and
You can talk about it after off air.
yeah. No, I really did. It's a great place. But anyway,
So how does strength training fit into your weekly routine now? You mentioned both of you kind of come at different times, and then what have you guys enjoyed most about your workouts at Village?
And you both work, right?
I'm a freelance musician,
Okay.
and I have less work right now because I also have a vision problem that's going on, and I cannot see well enough to sight read currently. So I'm kind of
semi-retired.
semi-retired right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Sometimes retired people are the busiest.
Well, yeah, I feel really busy.
And my dad tells me that.
I
He
am
said he's
quite
busier than ever. He doesn't know how he used to fit in work.
right.
Yeah.
I work up at Citrus College, which is just a short distance from Village. So it works out great. I get off at 4, go to the 4:30 sessions. And then when she started, she wasn't going to drive in, nor would I want her to.
Well,
drive
I
in
tried
for traffic.
4:30 a few times to
Yeah.
just be able to work out with him, and then decided, no, I'm going to try the morning.
Yeah.
And then, but we do get to come on Saturday, so
Together.
that works out well.
Yeah. So I
And,
come in the mornings, Tuesday and Thursday, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that works out great.
And he had mentioned earlier that, we're thinking of moving
Uh-huh.
after he retires. But one of the biggest things is that, oh no, we can't move away from Village. What are we
So
going to do?
as soon as you open your
Tennessee.
Your Tennessee branch.
We're on it.
yeah, but
We're in Tennessee.
Northeast, the very northeast corner, almost to Virginia.
Okay.
it's a cute little Hallmark old.
Oh, there's a
heritage
town called Jonesboro that's just
Tennessee. Yeah.
quaint
Okay.
and pretty, and the people are wonderful.
Yeah. So,
Fun.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was the question?
Oh,
About-
what have you enjoyed most about your workouts recently?
So recently.
Mhm.
Well, I really enjoy the less pain I've had in my knees and be, you know, from where I was, you know, starting squats with just nothing and then a dumbbell, kettlebell, and now, you know, back to the bar and less pain. So that's been great. That's always encouraging. Another thing the doctor said, yeah, you don't want to do deep flexions. Don't do those.
Don't do
I go,
squats.
yeah, and I thought, well, yeah, but I'm feeling better doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess listen to your body, right?
Yeah.
And he was kind of said that. He goes, well, it sounds like you kind of know how things are. I always enjoy seeing my people, my group. I've had to change. You know, I was Tuesday, Thursday for a long time, and now I have a Thursday night commitment now, so I've changed Monday, Wednesday. It doesn't matter. Those people are great too, you know.
Yeah, he was really,
Yeah.
really disappointed about having to change and have new people, and now he loves the new people.
And then every once in a while I'll change. I'll just show up in the other class, and but anyway, they're all great. You know, everybody, and I think that is people get to know each other from whatever it is, the get-togethers you guys have, or the workshops, and so I love that. I love that. I love seeing, you know, the strength. Like I say, less pain. I like seeing the strength go up. You know, that's encouraging.
Is there something that you notice is either easier or you can do now that maybe you couldn't do 5 years ago?
Well, yeah, definitely like anything with balance. Yeah, and I still have to, you know, every once in a while hold on to something doing the leg pop down or something. But it's still better. And it goes in waves, you know, when my knee's worse, then I have to get more support. But village lunges now I can just do
Really?
without holding
That's
on.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm not down as low as I want, but yeah, and the coaches, and you know this, your coaches are awesome, and they'll just throw out something, and each coach is different, you know, each coach brings something different, and we'll get, and then it gets hard, like, because you love your coach, but it really, I think, is beneficial to try different coaches, because just last session with Christian, he was watching my village, and he just told me one little thing, but it was like really important, on the village lunge, and I was getting down so much deeper, like it was a different feeling, you know. So anyway, that was all good. So that the balance part is great. I think being 70 pounds lighter probably helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
Well, when we traveled this summer, and he went to Japan just a month ago, and has, you know, heavy boxes of promotional materials and everything for the college, and he came back and said, wow, it was incredible. It was so much easier, you know, every aspect of getting around and moving all his stuff.
And that just reminds me back to, you know, getting in that mindset, the right mind. Like now we'll actually go to the hotel fitness center to lift and
You
do
weirdo.
things. Yeah. You know, come on, we gotta go do that. Or when I traveled in Japan, I'd always go do the elliptical. I mean, I was pretty good with that. But you know, actually going and working out with the weights, because you actually know what you're doing. You know the right technique, and you feel comfortable. So anyway.
Oh, and his eating. He would send me pictures. He did incredible at, you know,
Good job.
eating well. And he went to just in San Diego, his
Yeah, the
local
NASDAQ,
conference, and he packed food in our wheeled Yeti,
Yeah, that
and
was the best.
took it all and found a microwave and heated up his food and lost weight while he was there.
Good. Yeah, it felt good and ate well.
So I'm convinced he really has a new way of living now.
And that's
you
really
know?
big, because a lot of people, they go on a diet, and then they lose weight.
Well, I did that
Yeah.
at the time.
Oh, he's
You've
done
done
it
that before.
many times.
Yeah, I'd get in weight I had no problem losing weight, but it was obviously not the right way, because I was known for just setting up these contests with tons of people. In fact, it was that time when you gave me a bunch of books, because I asked you, because I had done this weight thing. I'd lost, I don't know,
60 pounds.
pounds. Yeah, so I'd done it before.
Yeah.
And everybody, oh, how'd you do it? I'm Village Fitness, you know. And yeah, did they come? Did they? No. So, but anyway, you know, so. And usually there's money involved, so I always, you know, there's always some profit to this.
Yeah, and he would like
That's your business.
eat
model.
like crazy right before it started, so that he
Okay,
can
Giving away his secrets. You're giving away all his secrets.
I
Well, he's
reformed
never
that.
doing
I
that
will never
again.
do that again.
No.
My body wouldn't do it.
He
I've
did
had this,
probably 8 or 10 times.
yeah, but it does get hard.
It's a business
eating.
model at some point. It's just a model.
Because like the never-ending pasta bowl, I have a free gift certificate they gave me for, and what do you do with that? Anyway,
Cool. Well, we've talked a little
all over the
about
place.
the past, the present. I want to talk about the future a little bit with you guys. I want to talk about do you guys have any specific strength goals for the next 3, 6, 12 months? Are there any numbers that you're trying to hit, even though you're working through, obviously, injuries, limitations, things like that? If not, that's okay.
I don't really have any numbers, but the hardest lift for me is the overhead press. And even that, I feel it in the spot on my low back. And I'm trying to, I just need to strengthen my core more. That's probably my biggest goal. And then I know that will help me to increase weight in all 3 lifts.
Yeah.
That overhead press is the one I struggle the most with. So I'd like to get where I can increase weight. Like I think I went up 1 pound in the last benchmark week from the previous one. And I'd like to go up a little more than that the next time. So.
Real quick on that, did you say you lost weight since last benchmark week?
Oh, since
I would
last
say
benchmark
so,
week,
yes.
probably like about 3-4 pounds.
That's
since
a lot.
then.
It's really difficult to get stronger while losing weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost impossible if you've been at it for a while. And when we did the Good Energy Challenge, a lot of people lost weight, and their numbers either were stagnant or went down, and there was a lot of people that were frustrated. And I think we could have done a better job of helping people understand that that's human physiology. If you're not gaining muscle, I mean, you can gain muscle and lose fat, and you'll get stronger, certainly. But if you've lost even a few pounds, it's really tough to get stronger as you do that. In fact, you gained a pound on your overhead press is great. I would say if you need to either be in weight loss mode or in strength preservation or in I'm okay to stay the same with my weight and maybe even gain a few pounds muscle building mode.
Okay.
That's what we need, muscle
that's
building
encouraging.
mode.
Yeah, because
That's my excuse. I was losing too much weight.
he has lost, too much. And I'm still losing slowly, but I don't really want to. I want to gain muscle. That's just,
And that's why our standards are adjusted based on your body weight. So like your standards should come down, and that's appropriate because it's like you have less mass, and so we wouldn't expect you to lift as much, especially if you've lost like a significant amount of weight.
right.
And then another thing with overhead press, especially compared to like squat or deadlift, I've experienced the same thing where it's like you're gonna plateau a little bit sooner. You're just using like the muscle groups that you're using are smaller. And then for women, especially like upper body strength, especially depending on like hormones, can be a lot more difficult than for men. And so like I've seen that. It's like I went up and then I'm just kind of like here, and I'm like maybe a half a pound to a pound if I like really focus on it. But some quarters have just stayed the same on overhead press. So you're not alone in that.
Okay, well that's very
specifically
encouraging.
for overhead. Whereas like squat, you can expect to do like, maybe 5 to 10 pounds a quarter if you're like not having aches or pains. But overhead press is going to be one of those ones where it's like you're just going to make smaller jumps from one quarter to the next.
Okay,
So
good to know.
yes, but it is a good thing to focus on. So yeah.
I can carry much heavier things now, like these.
Why are you pointing to me?
Yeah, I can carry Coe.
No, so can he. Like this sparkling water from Sam's Club that is in glass bottles, and I don't know how many bottles are in a case, like 48 or something. It's heavy,
Wow.
and I can get down in a squat position and pick it up from the ground and then carry it. Open jars.
But overhead,
easier.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have him
Yeah.
put the luggage in the overhead rack on the airplane. But I can carry it myself up and down stairs.
And that's, I think, one of the things that like we always highlight with longevity, and like as we age, it's like, just because you get older doesn't mean that you have, like, your quality of life has to decrease or your health span. And there's a lot of things that, like, slowly start to degrade for people. Like, they can't lift waters anymore from the cart, into, from the ground into their cart, or they can't put their luggage up, or they can't get up and down off the ground. And so strength training has so much carryover to everyday life. And I love that you're highlighting that, like, these things that it's like, oh, I couldn't do this before and now I can. Because it really does just help you in your everyday life. And a lot of people will say, like, oh, it's okay that I can't do this. And it's like, it's okay until suddenly you realize, like, oh, I can't be on my own. And I actually need someone to do everything for me. And you're at this point where you're really weak and frail. And I love that you've shared, like, I don't want that. I want to be able to be strong and to maintain my independence and to be able to travel and lift heavy things like boxes when you're working and waters when you're, at Sam's Club. We always use that as an example. I usually say Costco, like a case of waters from Costco, but such cool, like, real life examples that you guys have seen tangibly in your lives.
Well, people in my family, and my mom's side, live into their hundreds. So I may have a very long life, so I want to be living it and not just surviving it.
I think we've said, though, I mean, at least for me, I think we've never been better. I mean, health-wise. I mean, you have a lot of issues. But
I don't know about you, but I feel great.
aside from your issues, I mean, just life in all, I mean, it just seems good.
Yeah. No, we're really enjoying life.
That's great.
So if you were to meet someone who was maybe on the fence with, like, starting strength training, what would you tell them?
I'd slap them.
He pushed them right off the fence. No, the strength training side.
No, I mean, it helps that they've seen the changes in me and they see how much pep I have. And I've always been a fairly peppy guy, but I move much more fluidly now, Art. So, so it's easy for me to share, and they see it. But I would just tell them, it's never too late, right? And that, and start as soon as you can. I mean, we're trying to share with our kids, from, the eating part, especially the strength training and how important that is. It's like saving money, it's always so hard to do, but it's so important. So.
Yeah, and I just would reiterate, it's never too late. I was 65 when I started. And
you're 65.
I'm more than that now. And so especially women, where osteoporosis is such a huge problem, and I know men can have it also, but just there's an easy way to prevent bone loss, and so start it while you're young, and then you'll be able to maintain great bone density for the rest of your life. If I would have known that when I was young, I would have. That would have been it. That if I could see ahead, you're going to have osteoporosis, but you wouldn't have to if you would do strength training now. Because I wanted to work out to be toned, and
that's like almost everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I walked. And I could keep my weight where it was. I weighed the same for many, many years. And so I wasn't having a problem with weight gain. I just walked, just stay toned. And I had 5-pound dumbbells, that was all that I did. And I had no idea, because I believe that myth that, I'll get bulked up if I do strength training. So I just didn't have any interest in pursuing it. Or finding out anything about it. Yeah. But how wrong I was.
You answered our final question.
Yeah,
which is,
I actually did.
What is one piece of health advice you'd give to your 30-year-old self? Which sounds like it'd be strength training. Anything else?
Yeah,
you'd tell
it
your
would be
30-year-old self?
Strength training, and fats are healthy, and
stay active.
Because we were in our 30s in that whole low fat craze, fats are healthy, eat enough protein, just park in the farthest parking place.
Stay away from processed foods. That's it.
Yeah. Coe, what about you? What would you tell your 30-year-old self?
I was fat then too. God bless you. You just stayed with me. I was looking at pictures through the year. I thought there was just a small phase, but no, it was like a large phase. I just is the same thing, stay active, make it a priority, so many things I make a priority, having time reflecting in the morning, now my habit is I get up at 4, I have a good hour and a half of just, for me it's reading the Bible and just getting ready for the day and relaxing, getting excited, putting my village workout stuff together and just being more disciplined, realize how important it is.
Yeah. So you talked about going on, numerous yo-yo diets and want a lot of money from that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to avoid that, if you go back to your 30-year-old self, what would you tell them? How could you encapsulate the advice to be successful like you've been now, but permanently? Like, what's been the big shift for you nutritionally?
Well, my whole understanding of nutrition, and a good part of what Julie was teaching me prior to Village and trying to get me to understand. Because what I would do is I enjoyed running, and so when I could run back then, I would just run a lot and then cut my weight down, cut eating. Just the understanding that you can eat normal, you can eat well,
and
the right
plenty.
types of food, and then to work out. Not I was doing tons of cardio, well, it wasn't helping my muscles or my strength. I just lose weight and win money, which isn't a bad thing.
And
but
lose muscle every time.
Well, yeah. So I would think just to get a really good understanding, whether it's, reading good energy or I think the most important thing is join Village Fitness. but get around people that understand good nutrition, good fitness, good, lifestyle and make those changes now. And you'll enjoy it. You'll have a great time.
That's what I was going to say, and see that it's fun.
And get in it with a group of people or a significant other, because that's so important, because it's hard if you're going from eating normal, like fast food. It's hard for us, when we're planning, okay, we're going to this city, what are we going to do? We're non-seed oil places, okay, well, they're not organic, so, you have to trade off and you have to, understand these things. And you find some great places. Arizona, Aberdeen Kitchen, if you guys ever need a place.
In Mesa, there's only one in Arizona.
A lot in
Utah.
Yeah,
cool.
But great restaurant. So you find those things, but those are the sacrifices or just the challenges, but well worth it.
That's awesome.
Then you get invited to these great podcasts.
Yeah.
Like if I was like 600 pounds, you've been going to Village for 3 years.
Well, I love that you guys highlighted the community aspect and like the accountability. And again, it's like you guys did this together. It wasn't just like individual.
That's huge.
I think that's really huge. And that was like, honestly, one of the dreams that we had when we started was like, we wanted people to like radically transform their lives and have community while doing it, because we knew that was how they were going to stick with it. Like if you're trying to do something alone, it doesn't work. Like we saw that through COVID. It was like people were in their homes by themselves and everyone got out of it and was like the unhealthiest they've ever been. They were like lonely, depressed, people gained a ton of weight, and they were trying to do things like, we had all these resources online, and yet it's like showed that it didn't work. And so it's like, I think the like physically being with someone and having accountability of like, I'm going to see these same people every week, and if I don't show up to a session, they're going to ask me where I was. And, and I have that accountability of like, someone is we're eating the same things and we're like discovering new things together, so that it doesn't feel so weird or out of place when you are eating something that's a little different or trying to get protein instead of just eating the pizza that everyone else eats.
Yeah.
So I love it. It's awesome.
Just so you guys know, you are the very first guest on our podcast.
I know.
Woo!
I know.
Yes, you're that special.
We are
You will
honored.
forever be
Yeah.
famous. So
Also known as the test. The
Yes.
test of,
Yeah,
okay,
if something
this,
went wrong,
we don't want this,
we'll
don't want
never
that.
We'll just have to have you back if there's something else wrong. So.
Your Village Fitness parting game.
that's awesome. Well, thank you both so much. It's been a pleasure to interview you and hear your story. I think it's going to be a major encouragement to others.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I love having you in the Village community.